What is going on, people? So I definitely wanted to address something, and I know a lot of you guys didn't sign up for this. Y'all didn't subscribe this to hear my views on this situation, and I do appreciate all the new people that have came over to this channel since this year because it's been about over 20K people. And I see that y'all like the content on here, and this is not a normal for me, but I definitely want to take my time to address a certain situation like this because I'm in the cusp of it, and it directly affects me. And I just want to tell some of my story of why I've even went out and protested myself, and I also want to say, like, to the people that are OGs on this channel, you already know what it is. Like, I really do appreciate you guys for sticking with me on this. And this is not normal content for me, but other social medias and stuff like that, I talk about things a little more loosely, how I feel though. And this is not about politics at all or anything like that because I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I don't see the appeal in any of those parties, especially for the so-called black man. And I do want to explain why I say so-called black man too as well, because I think a lot of people are going to get that misconstrued to this situation that's going on with George Floyd. The reason why I say so-called black man is because it is the word black just means it's code for non-existent, to be honest, and it's an insult that was put amongst us during the and after the Civil War, just the codes to kind of separate whites again, because that's a code too. That's not a race or a creed of Caucasian people or whatever. Like that is just something just to remove like any type of culture from either or, but mostly from the so-called black people. And this whole entire situation has just been upsetting. But I've seen a lot of protests from non-blacks around the world, black people around the world, non-blacks, and I'm really happy to see that all together that people are very upset about the situation. Though I'm not a fan of the rioting or anything like that. I don't think the rioting is going to solve anything. Though I do think that the situation could have been avoided altogether if this police officer was not fired. Like this, and that's the most disgusting thing about it. Like this officer killed a man and was fired. He wasn't put in jail. He wasn't arrested. This dude was he could have very well went out and got another job. All I did was just kill a black man, and it's like for real, that's the punishment, and that is the outrage for those who don't understand what's going on. That's the outrage. That's what's angering. And nobody should put up with that. Like that should not be normal. And that is why all this stuff is going on for those that are just out of the loop for whatever reason. But yeah, so this situation to me, it means a lot because growing up, obviously so-called black, I mean, skin tone and all that. Uh, Growing up, I've experienced this firsthand. I'm very fortunate to be here, by the way, for a lot of the situations that I've been in. But two of them really stick out to me. Being a 12-year-old, walking to work, a police officer pulling out a gun on me because I'm walking in an area, mind you, that he was coming out of a bar from drinking, not from just controlling a situation, drinking. Coming out of a bar and pulling a gun out on me because I'm walking. I'm walking to my job. My job at 12 years old, just trying to make money for school because it was summertime, trying to make money at school. It's just ridiculous, man. Like that was a very upsetting part, and it actually scarred me for a long time, because even then I got it. I understood why he did that, because I'm sitting here walking and I look like I got an issue. Mind you, this situation didn't even happen in my old neighborhood because uh, I came from an area, DeKalb County, all the way up to Cobb County, which Cobb County is, they call it count on being busted. More likely cuffs on black brothers. That is something that was a thing that I was hearing from my uncles and people that just didn't want to be out here. and I didn't get it until it started happening to me at an early age. Fast forward, uh, in high school, playing basketball, honor student, riding with a close friend of mine that stayed in a nice neighborhood, a really nice neighborhood, and we get pulled over. I get pulled out the car, and the car gets searched for drugs, and it was two officers at first, and then it started to become a gang of police officers and canines. Like, because they just, when they roll out, they roll out. It could be traffic stop, and it just looked funny, just one of them or whatnot. And you know, being in fear for your life is one thing, but just to follow some kids that, because I was in uniform, I was in a basketball practice jersey, getting pulled over. Mind you, I wasn't even a driver, bruh. And there's plenty of other situations that have happened. I can go in and talk about. But I'm not gonna talk about it. But I'm just really thinking to myself right now. I really am appreciating all the people that are standing up in this situation. Though a lot of people don't see what the solution will be. The solution is pretty simple, and it probably won't come from our president, our government. It will come from the actual police union themselves, because they are the ones that protect these officers from a lot of these situations, from when they kill somebody on accident or something like that, and they can get charged with a crime. Though I'm pretty sure a lot of them don't even get that, because they're out there doing quote unquote a dangerous job in neighborhoods, where there's a lot of people that don't look like them, and they are quote unquote use that excuse and fear for their lives to do certain have situations like that. Though in this particular era where there's social media and there's cameras on phones, it's very difficult for them to have that to get away with certain things like that. And I know a lot of people are probably, again, people that have an issue understanding what's going on. They think that this is just like a rare thing that's happening, and people and so-called black people are overreacting. No, this has been happening since my great grandparents and beyond. Like, this situation of being mistreated and disenfranchised, disrespected, has been going on for a long time. I mean, I can tell you right now, I'm not saying I'm rich, I'm not poor either, but certain things when it comes to my skin tone alone, it's very difficult, because they don't want to give me loans for houses and stuff like that. I can see if I didn't have any money, but you know, certain situations where I can't get into a specific neighborhood because of that. And it's very difficult to deal with. And I know a lot of people are like, man, you're in Atlanta, man. Most of the neighborhoods in Atlanta are black owned or whatnot, and you can get in with almost anybody. No, that's not the case for almost every area, though. Especially the specific area that I want to be in. But I don't even really care anymore. But I see how things are rolling, and you know, I just hope for the better that's gonna come out of the situation. I just think that a lot of people need to understand and be more sensitive to what's going on. Some people probably will never do that because it doesn't fit to their benefit. And that's not to attack anybody that is non-black or anything like that. But I am, again, very happy to see people that are standing up within the same situation. Though I don't think the rioting is serving its purpose. Though I know why it's happening, because again, this dude, if I promise you, like, he literally would have got away with this stuff if people didn't get outraged and start tearing up shit and bringing attention to it. 2 days later, it took 2 days for him to actually get charged for it, and he might not eventually. And that's the other thing, is that he might still be found not guilty because of people that would be picked for the jury, and certain situations like that. So I think it's important. Again, it is something, because I almost forgot to say this. It's important that you do even though I know a lot of people don't like doing this shit. Like, you got to go out for jury duty, and you got to make sure that situations like these, where there are bad cops and situations in your communities are happening, you got to be adamant about these things and stopping it. you know, even if it is the police or not. You got to start taking some responsibility for that, and I really hope people do it. But anyways, that's it. The situation, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. I didn't want people to think that I was just one of those people that just gonna avoid it. I do think that a lot of y'all guys got to stop pressing these celebrities and thinking that they're gonna say something that's gonna make you feel better. You got to start acting on it yourself, and making the right conscious decision, and start getting involved. Don't mean looting or rioting, because there's other things that you could do. Uh, but it does mean that you have to start seeing what it is to be in these type of situations, and being disenfranchised and being appropriated, but not being respected. You feel what I'm saying? Anyways, God bless y'all.